हेलो हाय एवरीवन। आज हम लोग चेक करेंगे प्रखर और ईशान कॉन्वर्सेशन पार्ट 3। लेट्स जंप टू इट।
Knowing that I'll die in 3 days.
So, well, you have already begun understanding what it means to wake up and what freedom is. Because a lot of people will feel fear. A lot of people will feel disappointment. A lot of people will feel regret.
For the initial 5 minutes or so.
No, bro, think about it. The minute life is escaping you, this is what is happening inside you. And the metaphysics of rebirth says that, or the dharmic metaphysics, by the way, for people who do not know, means rules that describe how the world works. ठीक है? Philosophy of philosophy. ठीक है? तो अगर धर्म एक philosophy है, उसकी philosophy क्या है? वो metaphysics of धर्म होगी. The metaphysics of dharma says that what happens right before you die is carried on to your next life. So most people carry on into the next life because they feel these fears, these disappointments, these attachments, these regrets right before they're about to die. But like you said, I will feel free. तो 3 दिन की क्या वेट कर रहा है? मैं तेरे को अभी बता देता हूँ. तू 30-40 साल में, 50 साल में, 100 साल में मैक्सिमम मर जाएगा. हो जा फ्री अभी. उठना. उठ जा. क्या हो गया? And this is what I mean. So the minute you realize you're going to die, you actually start living. उससे पहले तो तुम अपने आप को बेवकूफ बना रहे हो. उससे पहले तो तुम एक दीवार से दूसरी दीवार में टकरा रहे हो, होपिंग कि इस दीवार से मैं खुश हो जाऊं.
काफी डीप हो गया है पॉडकास्ट. आई वाज लाइक कि हम थोड़े से ऐसे कॉन्वर्सेशन वाली बातें करेंगे,
हम ऐसे सिर्फ फ्लर्टिंग के बारे में बात करके नहीं खत्म कर सकते.
थोड़ा ग्रेट सेक्स की बात करेंगे.
बट तू सोच के देखना. सी, लुक एट ब्यूटी एज अ कॉन्सेप्ट. ठीक है? क्या होता है ब्यूटी? ये फेक है ना? उठा के दिखा दे कैमरे पे. दिस फ्लावर पॉट, राइट? दिस इज फेक. सो अनब्यूटिफुल. If this was a real flower, as compared to a fake whatever, would it not be different and much more beautiful?
It would be.
You know why? Because it's about to die. That is the difference between a first love and a very long marriage. Because when you first fall in love, you don't know if this will survive. You realize the impermanence कि ये फिसल रहा है हाथ से, पहला प्यार है, 5 दिन ही हुए हैं, निकला जा रहा है.
जाने नहीं दूंगा.
हाँ, तो वहाँ पे क्या आ जाता है? वहाँ पे एकदम से प्रेम उठाता है. पर जैसे ही वो शादी बन जाती है और अब तो पता है मरते दम तक साथ रहना है, वैसे ही वो नकली फूल हो जाते हैं. ब्यूटी लिव्स इन द फैक्ट कि थिंग्स आर दिस टेम्पररी. तभी तो कहते हैं कॉलेज के दिन एंजॉय कर लो, फिर दोबारा नहीं मिलेंगे, क्योंकि इम्परमानेंट है. परमानेंट तेरे को कॉलेज में डाल दूं, मर जाएगा बोर होके. क्या बोलेगा? यही है, रोज जाओ, दारू पियो, पार्टी करो, बस यही बचा है. सो इट इज दिस रियलाइजेशन ऑफ इम्परमानेंस इन द ग्रैंडेस्ट सेंस ऑफ द वर्ड that truly wakes you up to the fact that you will die. And once you realize you will die and you're really sure that you will die and you understand that you will die, you begin living properly. उससे पहले तक सब is fooling yourself.
सब मोह माया उससे पहले.
वो वैसे, हाँ, मतलब उसको ऐसे फ्रेम कर ले. मोह माया थोड़ा और टेक्निकल कॉन्सेप्ट है, उसमें क्या करेंगे.
बट हम बात कर रहे थे उसकी. अगर कोई
फ्लर्टिंग की. हाँ,
नहीं फ्लर्टिंग की बात नहीं. वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट इफ समवन हैज जस्ट बीन इन अ बॉयज स्कूल और अ गर्ल्स स्कूल एंड नाउ दे वांट टू स्टार्ट टॉकिंग टू द ऑपोजिट जेंडर. What do they do?
Okay, so I'll tell you what you need to do. First of all, you have to understand कि डर 2 लेवल पे लगता है. साइकोलॉजिकल, जो प्रखर एड्रेस कर सकता है ये सारी फट्टे मार के कि तुम मर जाओगे, ये वो. और उसके नीचे फिजियोलॉजिकल, विच इज़ योर बॉडी, योर नर्वस सिस्टम रिएक्टिंग. एंड द वे योर नर्वस सिस्टम रिएक्ट्स, इफ यू आर गोइंग टू बी ऑनेस्ट विद योर सेल्फ, palms sweaty, shaky knees, stuttering, not knowing what to say, blanking, looking down, like all these different ways in which your body reacts. ठीक है? जो ये सेकंड फिजियोलॉजिकल फियर है ना, इसको आउट प्रोग्राम करना होता है. और इसको आउट प्रोग्राम किया जाता है थ्रू एक्सपोजर. तो तेरे चैनल पे तो आई एम श्योर, बट यूनिवर्सली आजकल ये कोल्ड शावर का टंटा बहुत फटने लगा है.
आई डोंट गेट इट.
आई टेल यू व्हाट इट इज. इट इज बेसिकली फियर एक्सपोजर, पेन एक्सपोजर, कोल्ड एक्सपोजर, राइट? स्लोली गेटिंग यूज्ड टू अनकंफर्टेबल. इट इज लिटरली टेलिंग योर माइंड, कोई नहीं भाई, थोड़ा अनकंफर्टेबल हो गए तो क्या हो गया. आई यूज्ड टू डू दिस बैक इन 2017-18 when I first got into America, partly to shock myself out of my head, my thinking mind, and get me into my body, my feeling body, right?
I did this 2 years ago. So till that time, I'd only been talking to the camera. I would sit for hours on end and I would just talk to the camera. And before that, I've never had friends. And I'd never socialized. I was a typical Sharma ji ka beta. And then I was like, I'm going to do events. I want to do shows. I want to have live audience of 1,000 people.
Right.
Looking at me, looking to learn something from me. And I did it. 30 events done.
And so when you do that, what you really do is out-program yourself from fear on the physical level. And once the physical is gone, the psychological is easier to tackle. Right? This is also something that the West gets better than Indians. Indians, because they have doorways to spirituality and religion more accessible than the West, they think all problems begin and end with the mind. they do not realize that without a proper physical base, all spirituality ends up being nonsense. Partly because अगर भाई खाने को खाना नहीं है ना तो तुम करते रहो प्रार्थना पूजा. जैन बुद्ध भी तुम्हें बताएंगे खाने को त्यागना, पर उसके लिए होना पड़ेगा ना भाई. फास्टिंग करने के लिए एक्चुअली खाना होना तो पड़ेगा. सो you solve for the physical, which is exposure. You go up to somebody, use this exact line. Hey, I think you look very pretty today. Don't say gorgeous, don't go extreme. I think you look very pretty today. That's all I wanted you to know. And I hope you have a great day. Pause. Let her say thank you. Be like, you're welcome. Have a great day and leave. Do this 10 times.
फोन नंबर कैसे मिलेगा फिर?
पहले निकल तो इस पहले इससे तो निकल.
Okay.
First you have to get out of this. ठीक है? As far as phone number कैसे मिलेगा? पेन पेंसिल निकालो और ये लिखो artofconversation.in. क्योंकि ब्रो मतलब मेरे को समझाने में ना इट्स there's many angles to it and it'll take longer, but effectively I'll give you the short version. So you get in now, instead of saying hey you look very pretty today and उसके बाद का जो I just wanted to let you know that, just say hey you look very pretty today, I just wanted to tell you that. She says thank you and then introduce yourself. My name is Prakhar. I'll just be 2 minutes. Give a false time constraint. इसको false time constraint कहते हैं. I'll just be 2 minutes. I have my friends are waiting for me downstairs. I just wanted to let you know. So what is your name? Conversation begins. Have that conversation. Don't talk sense at all. Talk nonsense. Have fun. Throw in random stuff. Tease her. Do all of that jitter jatter. And as soon as you're done doing that jitter jatter, then be like, you know what? I have to run. You have an Instagram, right? Then after you get the Instagram, talk for another 2 minutes. Random nonsense. Because if you leave right then, the odds of response is
Out
low.
of mind or out of sight.
No, not just that, but उसके दिमाग में the registration is कि this is transactional. And Indian girls are very sensitive to that. So you stay there 2 more minutes, talk shit. Be like, damn, I got late talking to you. And then leave. And then it works out.
How many times have you done this? Road map बना दिया भाई.
I met my my present girlfriend, but not exactly like this, but yeah, somewhat like this. I've had long-term relationships sprout up in front of me.
What is the longest relationship you've had?
3.5.
You're 28 right now.
I'm 28 right now. 3.5 to 4 years. That was when I was 20. I was 19 or 18 when I started dating her.
When you look back, was there like a rule that you guys had that helped you have a long?
No, we just liked each other. I would like to think that. I don't know what my ex thinks. Right? Yeah, I've always been a long relationship kind of person when I found, like, I don't know when people say, bro, लड़के और लड़कियाँ नहीं है मार्केट. मेरे को तो इतनी अच्छी लड़कियाँ मिलती हैं, मेरे को तो कोई कमी नहीं लगी आज तक.
कहाँ से मिलती हैं?
ऐसे ही सड़कों पे मिल जाती है. Like, उसमें तो कोई देर नहीं लगती. I've also never had trouble with that, luckily. But all the long-term relationships I've had were kind of friends introducing us. Right? And like, why that lasted for so long is because, well, I think both of us genuinely gave a shit about each other. Genuinely. Like, it was not, well, sure, there were some immature elements and we would fight a lot and there was a lot of that. We were immature. But I think we genuinely gave a shit about each other. And I think that's true for all serious girlfriends I've had. Yeah, I found beautiful relationships. They've always ended tragically, but I found beautiful relationships.
Would you go back and do the same thing over again knowing that it ended?
Yeah, 100%. That's the beauty of it, na? We discussed that. Like, now when I look back, I'm like, why यार क्या time था? It's never like क्या कर दिया.
Regret नहीं होता.
मतलब ही नहीं है. In fact, I wish them the best. At some point, I don't know when, they will all find more long-term partners if they haven't already, right? Wish them the best, and the guys are so lucky to have found them, right? Like,
ये वाली बातें नहीं करते हम अपने चैनल पर. I don't know. We will. I am starting to talk about these things more. But I think that the more underlying layer of that is to become a better person.
Yeah, well, nonsense. How do you become a better person?
That's what my question to you was. How do you become a high value person that people want to talk to and they're like कि भाई ये बंदा या ये बंदी कुछ फोड़ रही है लाइफ में.
यार वही ना, चल मैं तेरे को इसको ऐसे समझाता हूँ, ठीक है? There are 3 stages to understanding, let's say, what kind of person you can be. ठीक है? First, you are somebody. The world will train you to be somebody. तू ईशान है, तेरा नाम ये है, तू ऐसा है, तू ऐसा है. पहले तेरी ट्रेनिंग होती है. Once that training is complete and you successfully become somebody, then the world will train you to become somebody special. Which is what you're asking me. How does somebody become somebody special? Right?
How to stand out.
Yeah. And when you go down the route of becoming somebody special, you might spend a lifetime trying to become somebody special. In some sense, I'm lucky. At least in this present moment, I'm lucky. Where I come to realize there's nothing quiet to becoming somebody special. इसको हिंदी में अगर मैं डिस्क्राइब करूं, पहले तुम दर्शक होते हो. दर्शक समझता है? फिर तुम दृश्य होते हो. दृश्य समझता है? दृश्य मतलब sight to look at. So first you are the audience.
You're the viewer.
You're the viewer. Then you are the object of viewing. But आँख खुलती है जब तुम दृष्टा बनते हो, which is, how would you say, the neutral observer, the awake eye in some sense. ठीक है? And so to finish that analogy in English, first you're somebody, then you're somebody special, only to realize you're nobody. And you're everybody. This is the end of the spiritual matrix. But let's cut the spiritual matrix out. Let's answer how do you become a high value person. Okay? See, there is a million ways to become a high value person. You can become rich in your high value. You can become good looking, your high value. You can become jacked, your high value. You can become disciplined, your high value. You can become caring in your high value. You can become high value in all these different ways. It's like becoming meetha. So the cheaty is attracted to you. But cheaty वहाँ घर नहीं बनाएगी ना. घर वो कब बनाएगी? वो एक different equation है. So when people talk about becoming high value, for instance, State and the Red Pillars will talk about becoming high value, it will attract women to you because that's their angle. I'm not saying that's the reason why you become a high value, but it won't keep them around. And so look at what Tate will say about women. ये तो ऐसी ही हैं, तुम्हारे साथ बुरा होगा, छोड़ जाएंगी. That begs the question, Tate, what have you done wrong in attracting women that वो छोड़ जाती हैं? Maybe you've led with the fact that you're high value. Maybe they were there for the high value, and when you were not high value, they left. So my larger point here, Ishan, is high value होने का फायदा क्या है? क्योंकि एक दिन तुम्हें lower value भी होना पड़ेगा. फिर जो आया high value देख के वो टिका नहीं.
Low value क्यों होना पड़ेगा?
क्योंकि life है भाई. कभी टूटेगा कि नहीं टूटेगा? तेरे हाथ में है, बता दे. नहीं है ना, फिर कभी ना कभी तो टूटेगा. किस टाइप की एडवाइस चलती है रेड पिल में? अपनी औरत के सामने कभी मत रो. किस टाइप का इंसान
रोते हो अपनी औरत के सामने, पसंदीदा औरत के सामने?
मर्द अपनी पसंदीदा औरत के सामने. यार मतलब तुम्हारी लाइफ में हार्ड मोमेंट्स नहीं होते? Don't you have tough shit in life? And so do you not want a partner that can handle you in those moments? I'm not saying be weak. That's not the same. I'm saying कि ये किस टाइप की एडवाइस है कि तुम अपनी पसंदीदा औरत के सामने रो भी नहीं सकते? Well, अगर वो आई ही इसीलिए थी, or vice versa, you know, it can operate in the other domain also. So, the larger point I'm trying to drive is, हाई वैल्यू होने के लिए कुछ नहीं करना भाई. एक लंबोर्गिनी रेंट कर ले और ऐसे गुची उची के कपड़े बलेंसियागा वगैरह पहन के निकल जा मार्केट में. My argument is slightly different. My argument is, particularly if you're sure you're going to be high value, अगर तेरे को पता है सक्सेस इज गारंटीड, तेरे केस में, मेरे केस में, इन सबके केस में जो देख रहे हैं, क्योंकि हम मेहनत करने वाले कहाँ जा रही सक्सेस. तो आई वुड मच रादर नॉट लीड विद द काइंड ऑफ सक्सेस आई हैव. आई वुड मच रादर नॉट लीड विद द काइंड ऑफ हाई वैल्यूनेस आई पोजेस. आई वुड मच रादर लीड विद माई रॉ एंड अनफिल्टर्ड पर्सनैलिटी, ताकि लेयर 1 पे ही प्री सिलेक्शन हो जाए. द डिफरेंस इज बिटवीन हैविंग एन अबंडेंस माइंडसेट कि मेरे को तो मिलना ही है, आई एम गोइंग टू फाइंड लव, एंड हैविंग अ स्कैरसिटी माइंडसेट जहाँ मेरे को मिलना नहीं है वहाँ मैं इंप्रेस करके लूँगा. जहाँ मेरे को मिलना है मैं एक्सप्रेशन पे फोकस करूँगा, जो हट नहीं होंगी वो वैसे भी रास्ते से हट जाएंगे. एंड सो maybe this is a point too complicated for people, but what I'm trying to drive is, you don't become a better person and therefore attract people. You let your raw side out and attract the right people. And I think you should focus on that. And I
Let
think
the raw side out on the first meeting itself.
Incrementally, but you know, it depends on the load you can handle. So about being a high value person, bro, it's not so much, don't lead with the high value as much as you lead with the completely raw part of you, right? Because मैं तुम्हें बता रहा हूँ, bro, what keeps a relationship together is not how good things are, but how you manage the worst. कहाँ पे टूटता है relationship? It is when both of you are at your worst. कुछ बहुत बुरा चल रहा है and it just snaps.
You give up.
And you snap. You snap. Something happens. You do an unforgivable mistake. You cheat. You lie. You steal. You leave the home and don't come back all night. And that's when relationships go to shit. Things are very tough. COVID has occurred. You're out of a job. That's when relationships break. And so I found that there is a certain beauty to finding long-term relationships when you encounter trouble, tragedy in the early stages of it. जैसे ही वो ट्रेजेडी आ जाती है ना, और अब तुम्हें रियल होना पड़ता है यार, अब तुम्हें एक्चुअली बियॉन्ड योर फिजिकल मैनिफेस्टेशन ऑफ मेरे मसल्स कैसे हैं और मेरी जेब में बैंक बैलेंस क्या है, अपने अंदर के भीतर की आत्मा को निकाल के उसकी आत्मा को पकड़ना पड़ता है और बोलना पड़ता है कोई नहीं, मैं हूं यहाँ पे. वहीं प्यार हो जाता है, वहीं से शुरुआत हो जाती है और फिर वो नहीं टूटता. तो अच्छा, अब ये सब बकरचोदी करने के बाद एक सीरियस लेवल पे बता भी देता हूँ हाई वैल्यू इंसान कैसे बनते हैं. ठीक है भाई, वही है, देख, बॉडी बना ले, सक्सेसफुल हो जा, बहुत मुश्किल नहीं है दोनों काम, और अच्छे अच्छे कपड़े थोड़ा ढंग से पहन के निकलना शुरू कर.
ज़ारा वारा,
ठीक है, that sorts your first impression out. Personality level पे it's quite the opposite. When you do everything to signal you are not high value, it signals you're high value. When you say stupid shit, when you don't care about their response, when you say something without hoping कि अब ये positive response लाएगा, when you don't try to impress, right? When you crack a joke that's somewhat bordering on like oh, like he probably should not have said that. Yeah, he probably should not have said that, right? When you behave in a way where you don't care for the response, it signals massive high valueness. Because the other person feels like, भाई इसको फर्क नहीं पड़ता ये कौन है, वहीं पे गाड़ी बन जाती है. Or I can give you endless examples of how that happens. So on a personality level, you have to come to a place where you don't care about the response. And the paradox is, if you have 0 people, you will always care about the response. But if you have 25 people constantly texting you, you just don't give a shit. That's why guys and girls find people into them much more when they're dating. क्योंकि अब मैं किसी लड़की से बात कर रहा हूँ तो मैं कह रहा हूँ हाँ यार, like I'm just texting her without thinking. She's like, bro, ये कौन सा बंदा है, इसने पू को मुड़ के नहीं देखा. And that draws. So on a personality level, to become high value is to signal you don't care on some level. That's why bad boys work. Because bad boys behave like they don't care.
हाँ, ये क्या होता है? There's a thing that nice guys always get friend zoned या फिर इस तरह की चीज़.
Because nice guy signal क्या कर रहा है? आप मेरी आत्मा हो, मैं आपके लिए कुछ भी कर दूंगा. तो उसको क्या पता है कि इसके पास और ऑप्शन नहीं है ना. और बैड बॉय क्या कर रहा है? हाँ चल भाई, हाँ चल. उसको लग रहा है यार इसके पास कितने ऑप्शन है. एंड पीपल आर अट्रैक्टेड टू व्हाट दे कांट हैव. People are attracted to the chase much more than to the person. So psychologically, interactions work opposite of what the truth is. If you were a high value person, I would say mix extremely charming, chivalrous behavior, like opening the door and like, pulling her chair, with absolute nonsense and I don't care conversation. And the word is fuse her electric light bulb of her mind. उसको समझ ही नहीं आएगा इसकी प्रॉब्लम क्या है. ये कभी इतना वार्म है और कभी इतना कोल्ड है. उसका ये प्रो फ्लर्टिंग टिप है. मतलब वो बिल्कुल ऐसे हो जाएगी, इसकी ये है क्या, what is this enigma? Because sometimes he gives attention to all these small details and then he does not even give a fuck about the big ones. And what is happening? And the chase is automatically created. But I don't recommend this. I advise this, but I don't
नहीं,
चिक के सबको स्कीम बता दी.
You used this word, charisma, and this is like the word of the year 2023. Riz.
Yeah.
Riz क्या होता है? And how to get Riz for people who are watching. लोग ऐसे हैं, पैसा नहीं है, skills नहीं है, body नहीं है, कुछ भी नहीं है, क्या करे बंदा?
फिर इन चीज़ों पर फोकस कर ले यार. अगर उनकी डेफिशिएंसी इतना ही हर्ट कर रही है तो why do the unnatural when the obvious is in front of you, right? Like why complicate this simple sort of decision in life, right? I feel also, Ishan, and this is sort of a meta confession, I feel like I'm coming of age where these questions, and I don't mean this as a insult at all, where they are no longer as interesting to me as they were when I started YouTubing. So I don't delve into all the technicalities as much. मेरा पुराना content देख लो, उस पे काफ़ी है. But see, अगर तेरे को लगता है कि बॉडी या मनी और सक्सेस इज कमिंग इन द वे, देन फोकस ऑन दैट, राइट? आई हैव ऑलवेज फाउंड, एक टाइम पे आई वाज अ स्टूडेंट स्ट्रगलिंग टू फिनिश माय चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंसी. एक टाइम पे आई वाज अ स्टूडेंट इन अमेरिका with very limited budgets, right? Because it is already a budget to send you there and keep you there. I had no problem dating. Because charisma existed, luckily, touch wood, with God's grace, with the right company and the right sort of mentorship. But whatever. The point is, charisma is a combination of having fun, because at the end of the day, people just care to have fun. हम मजे कर रहे हैं, सबको मजे आ रहे हैं, गारंटी बता रहा हूँ. हम फ्लो कर रहे हैं, हमें नहीं पता 1 घंटा हो गया, किसी को नहीं पता लगा 1 घंटा हो गया. ठीक है, fundamental. So having fun is very important.